We are back, yes, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my second ever reaction to the one and only Kasey Chambers. I was blown away when I listened to Lose Yourself in the Moment, you know, when she did her cover, her rendition of the classic by Eminem. That absolutely blew me away. Okay, so yeah, man, this is one of her new songs. It's called The Divorce Song. As a filmmaker, someone who does creative content from animation to music videos myself, I am super excited. I can't wait to hear something polished from this phenomenal singer, man. So without further ado, this is featuring Shane Nicholson. Let's freaking go.
Come quick enough. Maybe we did it all wrong. Kinda messed everything up. Promises turned into prison on either side of the divide.
Yeah, man.
It was till death do us part, till we knew our hearts had already died. Long road to get to the goal. We made it through paper and wood. We couldn't survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good. Just like a long vacation, I left with a few souvenirs. Trade for the world,
bro.
I couldn't buy with my tears. More than I had ever wanted. Just one little pink and one blue. If I wasted most of my best years, I'm glad they were wasted with
you, man. Come on, man.
It's a long road to get to the goal. Made it through paper and wood. We couldn't survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good. And we may have left our run too late, walked down the aisle too soon. Not everything has a forever ring. Sure ain't no Johnny and June. It's a long road to get to the goal. We made it through paper and wood. We couldn't survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good. We never survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good.
They must laugh. Yeah, they had to laugh, bro. Oh my gosh. You see, I was watching that and it's so desperately sad. It's hilarious at the same time. You know, and something about the way they've shot this, it's like it feels like those very old photographs, you know, just when the cameras just came out, where you have to be absolutely still. Because I never understood why they were always so creepy, you know. And she has this aesthetic, which is I'm not gonna lie, it's you know, with the finish, it's very horror movie-esque, you know. And it doesn't make sense because they're in a church. We're supposed to be happy and be, you know, hopeful, but that's the scenario there. It's like, hey man, this is like the inverse. This is divorce in church. That's what this looks like. It's like, man, we're run down. We've run through the mill and we are done. Forget the makeup, forget doing my hair. This is it, man. But yeah, the song has it's kind of gives me Don Williams. I think maybe Don Williams and maybe Dolly. There's a Dolly Parton about the vocal and the way she's singing this, but it's definitely we did Divorce pretty good. It's very sad but truthful at the same time. I'm just gonna play this back so we kind of see what they're doing with the framing from a filming standpoint, but this is really beautiful. The song itself, man, there's a lot of nuggets in there. You listen to that, it's just sad and beautiful at the same time. Shane Nicholson. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. That's beautiful. That kind of feels like B-roll. This is probably someone coming into the church, they're walking in, seeing the heights, and then you get the camera from a low angle. You know what I mean? If it's like they came back to the church, bro. They came back to the church. Nice little close-up.
We sat till left in this part.
The grading that they went for here, they just desaturated this as much as they could, but then they just kind of pushed out the reds so it can get a little bit of something in the skin tone. And I can see in the background there, it looks like there must have been a bit of red as well in the brick in the church. But this is just classic front and center framing with a little blur. It's probably maybe a 0.4 aperture. Sorry, a 4.0 aperture to get that blur in the back. It's not heavy blur, So we have them in the center there, and you can see their faces, man. It's like both of them hadn't slept. They woke up in the morning and it's like, hey, yo, don't brush your teeth, don't comb your hair, don't iron your clothes, put this stuff on, okay? You guys are run down, and just go there to the church and get to sing it, Yeah, so that's a representation of what they're talking about here, man, because divorce, it's just when people are fed up, and these guys definitely look fed up.
Death didn't come quick enough.
Death didn't come quick enough.
Maybe we did it all wrong. Kinda messed everything up. Promises turned into prison on either side
of the aisle. Promises turned into prison on either side of the aisle. I mean, right now, from a filming perspective, they're just doing a little slow pan from him playing the guitar, and they get closer to her, putting her more into the center frame as she says her lines. This is a powerful line. Promises turned into prisons, and yeah, man, that can quickly happen. It's like you're just sticking around because you made promises, but then you feel like you're getting a raw deal.
Of the divide. It was till death do us part, till we knew our hearts had already died.
Ooh, it was death do us part until we learned that our hearts had already died. So the hearts had died first. That's why they look so lifeless. Look at this shot here, man. Look at this shot here. She's sitting on the steps, shoulders up, man. Man, these guys can act. They look like they're really over it. And this black and white, this duotone thing that they're doing here, cinema started off with black and white, okay? So there's something that is very appealing to the human eye when it just comes to the contrasts. So when color came in, grading had to follow, because we love the contrast of like a black and white. So if you're going to use color, you need to come in there. And then accentuate the two contrasting colors, so you get into the color wheel and you look at colors like maybe blue and yellow, blue and orange. These are complementary colors. These are colors which feel like opposites, give you the same essence as a black and white. So here you can really see it's almost shot like a black and white film because they've just desaturated everything, but you can see there's a slight red that is coming out through the final production.
Long road to get to the goal.
Here, look at this shot. They just have them in the center. They look like they're part of the furniture. There is no depth of field. They just have them as part of this whole thing. So let's see if there's a correspondence with the lyrics, because the shot they've decided to take here is no depth of field. They're not necessarily the center of this scene. Well, they are in the center, but then there isn't a particular focus on them, because you would do that if you had, light or shadowing or blur to kind of have them be the main focal point. But that's not the case here. They just have them standing in the center and singing.
Made it through paper and wood. Couldn't survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good.
That's a good shot. That's the most cinematic shot they've had so far. All this is horror movie photographs. Yeah, man, it feels like they just studied every horror movie, from back in the day, and just, that's how they were framing stuff. It's like those old creepy photographs. But this is the most cinematic shot they have here, and that's like shooting at an angle, So we shoot an angle so we can get a perspective, so we can get more depth into the shot. We still have them there standing in the center of the church. We have the pews, we have the light source, which is clearly the windows on the side there. But yeah, and then we've got right across there. This is perfectly framed to give you the whole church scene. And it's just the two people who got married and no one else. This tells such a story, Look at that, not even looking at each other.
Just like a long vacation, I left with a few souvenirs.
I wouldn't trade for the world. I couldn't buy with my tears.
I wouldn't trade for the world. I couldn't buy with my tears. Long vacation. I left with a few souvenirs. These lyrics are amazing, man. Country, baby.
More than I had ever wanted.
Here again, we get the beauty of perspective. Always got to use that to your advantage, man. This makes the scene always look more interesting than this. This gets creepy, and that's why they're doing those shots which just kind of feel off-putting. But as soon as you get some angle into it like that, it feels more cinematic. This shot, for example, we have her in the foreground, he's in the back. Kind of get the depth of the wall. All this is more appealing to our senses, maybe because when we are listening in on a conversation or seeing people talk, we're usually at an angle when we're taking this in, so it's more what we're used to. But then again, it kind of gives you a better spatial awareness of what's going on.
Just one little pink and one blue.
If I wasted most of my best years, I'm glad they were wasted with you. It's a long road to get to the goal.
Wasted the best years of my life, but they were wasted with you, man. Ugh. Grass is greener.
You made it through paper and wood.
Did you just tap on the side?
To get to the goal. You made it through paper and wood. Couldn't survive.
When they were walking, did he just leave his guitar and tap her on the side?
long road to get to the goal.
Long road to get to the goal.
Made it through paper and wood.
Damn.
Couldn't survive as a marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good.
Couldn't survive with the marrying kind, but we did divorce pretty good. Wow.
Left out run too late.
Walk down the aisle too soon.
Not everything has a forever ring. Sure ain't no Johnny and June.
This is a great shot right here, man. We've got the whole church in the back. Finally walked out of it. Looks like the divorce is final, maybe. You know, the church looks like a castle, very beautiful. We have them in the foreground there. And we got the clouds in the back. This is also very interesting framing, man. This is very beautiful. These still frames are making perfect photos. Feels like an album, a photo
Long
album.
road to get to the goal. We made it through paper and wood. Couldn't
Yeah, we get a little slight steady cam shot there. They're tracking as they're walking. It's probably just holding a gimbal as they walk towards the camera as they're walking out of the church.
survive as the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good. Never survive as the marrying kind.
So like when they
Get
do
to
the filter,
goal. We made it through paper and wood. Couldn't
you know,
survive.
when they do this filter here, right? Obviously this gives it a more of a old school camera feel, but then again, if you see what they've done here, you know, yeah, the sides have been reduced to a 4:3 aspect ratio, but it's got that little button there on the side, which makes it look like it's a digital camera flipped sideways for the wide view. So personally, if obviously that's a creative choice they decided to make. So it's either they wanted to now bring us into the future to make us feel like, yes, it's got that old school vibe, but it's not completely old. It's happening in this day and age. So it's still keeping the vintage look, but bringing us into the modern time that this is happening here and now.
As the marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good. Never survive as the
Beautiful.
marrying kind, but we do divorce pretty good.
They laugh. Yo, man. That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful, sad, and all the above. Really appreciate you guys watching this with me, man. My 2 cents, man. They're in the church, so we're going to talk about God's plan, man. God created marriage, and God hates divorce. The reason he hates it is because it absolutely destroys people. It destroys the two parties involved. And it's a poison that also infects the kids and the family. It's very rare, you know, where you're like, no, everything was amicable with great friends, the kids are happy and all that. And usually in those cases, what you find is that after they got divorced, all of a sudden they're showing each other the empathy and the grace that they should have been showing each other in the first place when they were married. Because if they actually did that, they wouldn't get the divorce in the first place. You know, so the maturity kicked in after they decided to split up. You know, so it's truly a sad thing because God has such an opinion of it, because marriage is the only human thing that we do that mimics his relationship, God's relationship with mankind. You know, Jesus Christ calls the church, those who believe, those who have accepted him as their Lord and Savior, as the church. So we've taken on his name, and he calls us the bride, because that's exactly what happens in marriage. The bride takes the name of the husband. And so whatever is for the husband is now for the wife. You see? So that's the name and everything else. Now, in marriage, what happens is, before you commit, the reason we fell in love in the first place is because we kept giving each other stuff that none of us earned. That's what we do. He's taking me out. He really likes me. He paid for everything. He paid for dinner. Yeah, she's so good. She cooked for me. She did this and that. You know, she calls me. She does all these things for me. You know, so before you actually commit and get married, you've created a culture of giving each other stuff that neither of you deserve. And that's where the love blossoms. You see? So that's how God made us. You know, you love the things you give to without expecting anything in return. When you give something someone hasn't earned, that's where love comes from. And that's exactly what happened with us and Jesus Christ dying for us and giving us a way to salvation by this free gift that he provides. All you have to do is become the bride by accepting him as your Lord and Savior. That's it. So you haven't done anything to earn this eternal gift. You don't even have the ability to do anything to earn that eternal gift. But that's what God does. And that's what marriage is. So we're supposed to do the same thing when it comes to marriage. Now, marriages break down because as soon as we now get married, we used to give each other this free stuff. Now we get married, and now it becomes a prerequisite. You should do this. She should do this. He should do this. She should do this. You know, and everyone's just trying to one-up each other. And now that becomes a different thing. It's no longer marriage as God intended, and it's no longer what made you fall in love in the first place. And then everything falls apart because there's pressure now. You hate going home as a husband. Things haven't gone well at home, and at work you might be losing your job, or things aren't going right. But then you know that there's this person who has expectations of you. For them, as far as they're concerned, when they got married to you, they stuff they're supposed to get. And now you can't provide those things, and now you feel like you're a failure. Boom. That affects the relationship. She's growing older every year. She no longer looks the way she used to look when you guys met the first time. You know, now, and all of a sudden that now becomes an issue. She's like, are you talking to other people? Are you seeing other people? The jealousy comes in, you know, so because she believes her prerequisite is she needs to remain the person that you married in the first place. You know, so all these crazy expectations, which are unrealistic, come into the fold, and everyone just feels bogged down and stressed out, like these guys clearly showed in this video so well. You know, and that's what happens. So we're not doing marriage the way God intended, because we are putting these heavy yokes on each other's necks on what we're supposed to live up to. If you're going to do it the way of Jesus, what you do is you give each other the love that neither of us deserve. That's the only way the whole marriage thing works. You can go to marriage therapy and all that stuff, talk reciprocity and all that nonsense. You know, it works in the circular world, and you go therapy and blah, 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 but when all is said and done, there's always going to be a point in which your partner does not fulfill your every desire. And when that point comes, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know? So this whole love, respect, you know, the whole loving the wife, the whole respecting the husband shouldn't come in a condition. This is the only person that you are giving that liberty. In the same way, those who have accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they receive something that they have not earned. Everybody else, they can keep doing what they're doing. Everybody else around you, you know, you submitting to your husband, you don't have to submit to every other man. You loving your wife, you don't have to love every other woman. You don't. It's within the confines of that marriage. And that's the sacrifice, that's the covenant. That's the only way we get to mirror the goodness of our God, you know? So, yeah, this song is very real, very sad. It's also funny, but it's also very true. And we just need to calm down, realize that none of us are perfect, and that the greatest thing you can ever give anyone is knowing that doesn't matter what happens, you're gonna be by their side. That's it. No quotas, nothing. No quotas at all. No expectations. That's it. That's it. That's the only way this whole marriage thing works. That's it. That one person that you're going to choose in your life that you're not going to have any expectations of. That's it. People are going to come and say, no, but God has expectations. Nope. God's only expectation is that you use your free will to accept that you are incapable of saving yourself, and you accept that Jesus' sacrifice is sufficient. None of your works can ever do anything to please God. That's it. That's a prerequisite. Once you come to that acceptance, you're saved. That's it. And then your actions will naturally reflect that, if that's what you believe. And you will be happy and you will rejoice because you realize, oh, wait a minute, I was never going to be saved anyways with all my good works. And that's where the joy comes from. So it's the same thing in marriage as well. Once you get so comfortable with your spouse that you realize that, wait a minute, this person has chosen me above everybody else, not because I'm perfect, not because I'm always going to be great, but they've just chosen me. That makes you happy. That's how courtship started in the first place. You were getting stuff you didn't earn. So that's the thing. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching this with me. Until the next time, let's freaking go.